Okay, everybody, this is Emar Sopatuta, Sports Inquirer, and we're joined by Ed Joyce, head coach of Georgia State women's soccer. You were able to get some victories this past weekend, or within in a draw, so you're undefeated through those two matches. Let's start with that Monroe contest that you had at home on September 23rd. 3-3 draw, but you came back from being down 3-1 in the second half to earn a point. Just impressions of that performance and the team finding its way back.
Yeah, I mean, it's any time that you can, go down and come back, to get a result, I think you're always happy. Especially, we didn't start very well. To be honest, we felt a little unlucky. They scored, a goal that anybody in the world would be pretty happy with, which I think maybe goes in 1 out of 20. And a great strike by the kid, and it kind of fair play to her, but we felt a bit unlucky to go down 1-0 that way. And then the second goal was miscommunication on our part. So, I mean, we felt a bit difficult in our mindset to deal with that, to be honest. But once we came back, we got the penalty and then went 2-1 down right at the end. We still felt okay. Felt we were in a good place. In the second half, thought the girls did a really good job of upping the tempo. Obviously, they went 3-1 up on a goal that was from a free kick, which I think was dubious decision at best, and that obviously gave them momentum. But to be fair to our kids, it almost got us going, because after the third goal, I thought we were really outstanding, and probably they deserved it off the first half. I think the rest of the game, we probably had the better of it. So they're much improved. Their staff done a good job, made them a lot better. So I think you look at how they rebounded and they played Coastal and won 6-1 on the weekend. So I mean they're obviously a talented group of players themselves, but I feel like we definitely did a good account of ourselves after a rough beginning. For sure.
Yeah, and after Gracen Crosby scored that penalty kick in the first half, you're able to get Brooklyn a field goal. She was able to tie the game, or no, make it 3-2, and then 3-3. Once again, Crosby with a nice cross into the box, and Ava Diaz-Lewis was able to get a header in and scored a goal for you. Just what about Gracen Crosby's contributions to the team? Not only seeing a lot more action as a sophomore, but not only scoring, but distributing the ball as well.
I mean, Grayson's supremely talented, and we talk to her all the time about, how good she could be, and that really the limit is purely hers. She's got amazing technical ability. She can strike a ball with either foot, which is, obviously really desirable in a player, especially centrally. But she's just really smart. She's technically proficient. She came in this season really, really fit. I think that helps her be more effective in her role. So, with us, she can make us tick, and we're really challenging her to, every game that we play, we're challenging her to really kind of set the tempo for us and push the tempo in terms of how we want to play quick and we want to play slow and be a bit more of a leader in that role. So she's the last couple of games, I think Monroe, she was excellent. Then App State on some turf, which is tough to play on. I thought she was outstanding again. So we're really looking forward to seeing how she can carry this into the next week.
Is that usually see the most improvement from a player between their freshman and sophomore years because of the being used to the collegiate game? They get a summer probably on campus or near. They just know how to train for a collegiate season, and I've seen that with her this year. Is that usually the case for you, that you see a lot of players make that jump?
You hope to see that jump. I think a lot of kids, especially this past year with COVID, I think the sophomore year was almost like a do-over of to come in and have a bit more of a normal year. But our freshmen last year, Grayson, Maddie Johnston, Diaz, Kelly Mahorn, Jay Foose, all kids who I think at different times you've spoken to or spoken of, came in as freshmen and were flying. Came in ready to roll, were fit. And I think sometimes the sophomore year can be more of a challenge because the expectations are higher. And I think for a couple of those players, we expect a lot out of them because they've proven how important they can be for us. And sometimes expectations challenging. So I think this year we've had some kids that have embraced it immediately and really kicked on. And we've had some kids that just need a little bit of, an arm around the shoulder and, hey, this is why we feel this way about you, and we know that you can do these things for us. So every kid needs something a little bit different. And I think we've got a good balance here of experience and kind of ignorant young exuberance of not knowing kind of what their limits are at this point. So we're excited to see where this season can take us, and hopefully this weekend is a nice positive step forward for us as well.
Yeah, and before you face Coastal Carolina on October 1st, we have to go over to Appalachian State contest. Quick turnaround, long trip to Boone, North Carolina. It's not too close to Atlanta, Georgia, but you're able to come out there with a 1-0 victory. They scored an own goal, or I guess the term is you created an own goal.
I like that term. Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, I was gonna say what's the proper? I always say that it's an own goal, but you get a goal credit, but technically Jimena get across the ball into the box. Your crosses, you put a lot of pressure on. Go get to that, but just 1-0, getting a victory in a tough place like Boone. You mentioned the turf, the travel. What did I show about the team just getting a victory like that?
I think it shows a lot of grit, to be honest. I mean, anytime, we always say in the office, every time you go up the mountain, the Boone, and get a result, get a win, you're really excited because it is a tough trip in the best of times, but coming from a home trip to then going away, and it's not a bad drive, especially for us. Like, we try not to complain about travel being situated where we are in Atlanta compared to some of our rest of the people in the conference. But it is a tough trip. When you get there, it's usually a bit colder than it was, so we can't really complain about the weather. But there's definitely some wind that associates with that surface and that pitch normally. But we're pretty fortunate to see good weather, less wind. But we still have to focus on doing what we do, which is getting the ball down and play. And I think at times on the turf that is an extra challenge. But we created a lot in the game, I felt. And I think the added pressure at the end, I felt sorry for the App State kid, to be fair, because it was quite an unlucky play that led to the goal. But when you do put balls in dangerous areas, you tend to get positive outcomes, and that's what we felt about the goal at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I just wanted to elaborate on that. You cross a lot of crosses this season. You put a lot of pressure on the defense. And is that something that you've just been working on with your players, saying at least put it in the box and some good things can happen, like causing an own goal that ended up being a game winner for you?
That's spot on. I mean, the way we play and the players that we have in areas of the pitch, our forwards we feel are very talented, and we're quite deep within that group. That our wingers and our outside backs and even our centre midfield players, we talked to them a lot about, putting the ball in the box is very seldom a bad idea, because you're putting people doing what they don't want to do, which is defending. Everybody wants to attack, especially these days. We put the ball in the box enough times, so we feel that good things will happen. Now, the coach in us wants us to be a bit more clinical in the quality of cross that we give, and more importantly, the quality of finish that we provide at the end of it. But we feel that we're getting pretty close to a game that opens up for us, and that we score a fair few goals, and we hope that happens again this weekend.
And speaking of this weekend, you start off with Coastal Carolina at home. What have you seen from them so far, and what we have to do to emerge with the victory?
Yeah, I mean, Coastal's always good. It's always a tough game when we play them. I think results are a little misleading for them at the moment, especially the last one, ULM game. I think was just kind of lightning in a bottle for ULM, if I'm honest. So I mean, we know we're in for a tough game, and we're hoping that we bring that same level of intensity. Usually they play a similar style to us, which is pretty athletic with some deliveries in the box, etc. So I think it'll be fun for the neutral and stressful for those who are invested.
All right. Well, Ed, thank you for your time once again. We appreciate it, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks very much.